Hello, thank you for watching this video. I am going to be taking you through the most recent pages in my current art journal, and we'll be also making a new page. So this is my current art journal. You've seen this in a few videos. If you are interested in seeing some of the other pages I've done, there's an art journal playlist, and just look for everything that says most recent art journal. So let's go to where we left off. Oop. Sorry, I hit that there. So we saw this, I believe. Yeah, we left off here. So this was me trying to figure out something mosaic. It didn't really work, but I like the idea. I'll keep the technique for sure. I really like how this piece turned out. Lately, I've just really been liking just very few layers, but a lot of landscape type stuff. So that's a lot of what I've been doing collage-wise. All these fortunes, I have so many, because every time I get Chinese, I'll keep the fortune, and then if I'm eating with anyone else, I keep their fortune cookies too. So I just have so many of them. I really like how this one turned out. I actually put on my Instagram, there's a highlight, I'll link in the description, and there's one of my story highlights has a bunch of like zoomed in pictures of some of my collages that you can use as phone backgrounds. This one is my current lock screen. That's why I thought of it. But yeah, check that out if you're interested. And this, I've had this, like, it must have ripped weird when I took it out or something of the magazine. I've had this forever, this just like piece of a person. And then I've also had this forever, this one wing. So it just matched up so well that I finally got to use them. So there's that. And this is lyrics to a Phoebe Bridgers song. This was a lot of just like stream of consciousness, just like messing around type stuff. I really like that too, though. Just playing with layers and things. This was, let's see how many layers are in this one, for example. So the road with the car is one layer. This castle here is a second layer. This little mountain with this plant is 3. This bluer mountain is 4. And then this city is 5. So there's that. A little bit more messing around. I love how this one turned out because I really wanted to use this road. So I definitely am happy with that one. So this becomes a little more scrapbooky. These are pictures that I took in my time living in New York. And I believe I got them printed at Fox Print. I will link the description. I've always liked them. I know there's like a million places to get pictures printed and stuff, but I've just used them a few times and it always turns out really nice. And these are on kind of like a chipboard, like a little bit thicker than paper, so I really like that. More random stuff. So I've honestly forgot about this one until this moment. I really like how this turned out. Honestly, I'm probably going to take it out of here so I can get copies made because I just really, really like that one. I did end up having to put Scotch tape on part of it, but I still think it looks okay. Love that. And just a little more scrapbooking, random stuff. This washi tape is by Worthwhile Paper Co. I'll link them in the description as well. They are amazing. Oh, and then I have a little picture in that envelope. And I think that's where we are. So I'm going to switch to voiceover and we will get to work. Let's see if we can do 2 pages. I don't know. We'll see how the inspiration comes. So see you in a minute. Okay, so step 1 when I start making a collage is that I pick one of my bins of clippings and I kind of just go through it and see what inspires me. I probably have 3 or 4 bins of just collage pieces. I use it's like a 12 by 12 bin intended for scrapbook paper, but they're really great for this. And I do have one that is isolated just for letters and words, because you might have seen in some of my collage art, I do really like to use collage lettering, but it's tricky. So it can be really tricky to find stuff. So I like to keep all the letters and the words totally isolated. But besides that, everything's just kind of jumbled. Now and then I will go through and try to separate different types of pictures, especially because I make Star Wars art And when I'm making Star Wars character art, I can't really use like cars or buildings or anything like earthly. So I try to separate like nature-y stuff that would work for Star Wars. I'm actually working on commissions right now, so that's why I'm kind of avoiding the nature stuff here, is because I know I'm going to need it for that. So yeah, so that's that. It's a lot, but I don't know how else I could possibly organize it besides these bins. So I kind of just go with it. It works well enough for me. I've been trying to kind of like push myself out of my comfort zone when it comes to collage lately, especially in this art journal where we're working today and that we just flipped through. This isn't stuff that I'm most likely gonna copy to sell, like maybe, but I feel like sometimes over the past year I've like made stuff with that in mind, and that's just something I'm trying to kick. Like, I just want to make the art because it like looks cool and feels right and I like it. And then if it's good and I end up selling it, like, that's cool, that kind of thing. So I picked this spaceman to start. I found him, I believe, in a vintage children's like science book. That's a really cool place to look for pictures and stuff. If you ever see like one of those big book sales where it's like they're selling tons of used books. Obviously there will be a lot of like fiction and everything, but if you can find the like coffee table books, that's one of my favorite resources for collage art. Yeah, it's the best. And it's also really dangerous because I can go crazy. And people have asked me a little bit about where I get my stuff from. So it is definitely a lot from used books, used bookstores. I'll look in the science sections and the pictorial sections, stuff like that. Sometimes thrift stores too will have a lot of stuff. It's so hit and miss based on the place that you go though. Like some places will have an insane selection, and some places will have literally like a copy of Good Housekeeping and that's it. So you kind of have to like trial and error and then find places that you like. And then also the library locally they haven't had it since COVID started, but they had a whole shelf that was all like books for sale. But also they had a ton of magazines that you could just take for free. So I ended up taking like a lot of those over like a couple years. And that is how I got a really big portion of my collection of clippings. That was kind of just a godsend. I miss that they haven't had the magazines out in a while. Maybe I'll like ask next time I'm there if they're ever going to bring that back, because it was just great. But also like I do kind of need to work through some of these clippings before I get any more. Another place though that I would recommend highly is Etsy. So you'll see on Etsy some people just sell they might have vintage magazines that they sell, but also some people just sell pages from magazines. So like usually you search under like ephemera and stuff like that, but there will be people who like literally, I ordered one time from somebody, I forget who it was, but they literally just like ripped out 80 pages from books and like old books and stuff, and then just sent it in like a pack. And that was really, really cool. And it can be really a good way to start. Like if you don't have anything and you just don't know where to start and can't get out to like a thrift store or anything, just like go on Etsy and see if you can just order like a pack from someone and just kind of start messing around. I tend to not go out there because it's dangerous for me, because I can end up getting a lot of stuff. So I'm telling you that it's good, but I can't go on myself for a while because, yeah, I could do some damage really, really easily. So I tend to try to stay away from it. But, I am going to try to work through a lot of the stuff I have with my commissions, and then who knows, maybe I'll go pick up some new stuff. But yeah, so that's a really cool way to get stuff also. And then also, look, there's nothing wrong with printing a picture. I tend to try not to do that as much as humanly possible, except like if I'm working with my Star Wars art, I'll print the character picture, but I try to just organically find things. Like I won't like look up a picture. I wouldn't look up a picture of a vintage yellow car and print it. I would just find it in my collection. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's so tempting to like, oh, I could just print a picture of that and then I'll have it. But I really try not to do that. I don't know why. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I know a lot of like digital collage artists, which is a art form that I just do not understand, like, just because it's so cool and I just could not be further from having that skill set. But they'll do that, you know, they'll find pictures and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It could be a really cool way to start, you know? So yeah, consider that. There's some websites, Unsplash, I believe, is one that I've used that have like royalty-free pictures. Not that that like usually ends up being an issue, but they also just have really beautiful pictures. I'll link that in the description. I've used them a lot for like backgrounds on my Instagram story or phone backgrounds. And then a couple times, especially with the Marvel stuff, because sometimes with my Marvel art that I made in my Marvel art journal, which you can check out at the Through the MCU playlist on my channel, but sometimes I wanted something super specific. So like for Tony Stark, one time I wanted like a New York skyline, and I knew I didn't have anything in my collection at that moment, so I just printed it, and it turned out good. So yeah, nothing against that. What else collage-wise? There's so many cool, like, I can't encourage you enough to just like go on Instagram and look through the hashtag collage or collage art. Just people making the craziest, most awesome, most amazing stuff. It inspires me all the time. There's one artist, Morgan Jesse, his Instagram name is like Morgan Jesse Lapin, maybe. I will link their Instagram below as well. Just making the coolest stuff, and it inspires me so much. But yeah, so this is what I ended up with. It's weird stuff today. I like the traffic light with the bug and the flowers in the car. I don't know. I thought of her like she got shrunk. That was what the story that I came up with in my head is she got shrunk in the car, and I don't know. But I think it kind of turned out cool. So there's our 2 pages. Yeah, I don't know. I think they're really colorful and fun and kind of vintage, and I enjoyed it. So thank you so much for hanging out, and I'll see you soon.